Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's definitely not the morning, it's 4:30, but I just finished work. I'm so excited to be home um and to do this morning analysis together. That was very, very high energy, but I've got a coffee. This is my first coffee of the day, which is absolutely wild for a Monday and to be working. Like when I'm at work, I'm usually like 3, 4 coffees down, but I'm on my period right now, so I was like I don't know if that's too TMI, but this is my journey. But I usually have like 4 coffees, but it's apparently really, really bad to have while you're on your period. So I try to avoid it. I had a matcha. I had 2 matchas today, and then I was sipping on herbal teas. So now I've had my coffee hit. I feel like so much more energized, and I'm so glad that I left it until later in the day. So now I can just have energy for my own work and my trading work instead of, draining all of my caffeine energy on like my job. Okay, let's do a morning analysis on both Nasdaq and gold. We'll have a little look at Ethereum. I've been having a little peek at Ethereum throughout the day, but I haven't been too much going on to gold because I know that this is the main thing that I trade. So why would I? I don't want to. I don't want to spoil it. But we've had some interesting movements, I would say, for the day. Very interesting. Like it seems like it's volatile, but it's not crazy volatile. I'm seeing like an ICC setup potentially on gold, like a very early move, but I don't know. What do we I feel like I want to do Nasdaq first because gold has just hit a point of interest of mine and a point of interest of many ICC traders. It was the target that Sai had for his trade. It literally makes me so frustrated looking at all the buys that I potentially could have gotten in on last week that I didn't get in on, but it's fine. Today's a new week. Today's a new day. It really doesn't matter the money, but at least I know and I can build confidence in my analysis. But anyway, let's start with Nasdaq. I feel like Nasdaq's made some interesting movements. I think at the start of the month it was very, very smooth for me. Like you can see the statistics I had at the start of the month, but then the last 10 days, it seems like it's going on somewhat of a reversal. So it's been a little bit more difficult for me to trade, if I'm being honest. But that doesn't mean that I'm not a hater of Nasdaq price action. Nasdaq price action has been so much smoother than gold, like so much smoother than gold. So that's definitely not to say that I don't like the price action. I'm just gonna start marking up. But it could definitely be better. It could definitely be better. I'm gonna mark up. Shall I just mark up? We're gonna do the recent high because it's obviously the one that makes the most sense. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna mark up this. So obviously, we're looking at buys. Like we've finally broken a high. We had this massive sell off. I think it was last week or the week before that, and since then it's been climbing up, but it hasn't given me that confirmation of breaking the high. It's obviously broken these internal highs, but these moves have been very, very interesting. Obviously, we were very, very choppy in this area. We ended up pushing up. Again, we came to this like kind of choppy area where we've got weird internal structure. Then we pushed up aggressively, and then it was choppy, and then I don't know, it was just a little bit weird. It was a little bit harder to trade in terms of ICC, this, little uptrend that we've had. But now we've broken out of the high, we can actually start taking some good ICC setups. And we are live trading NASDAQ, which is literally so exciting because it means that I can capitalize off of different markets, new price action. I can capture more trades. My focus for this week, my focus is mainly on building my confidence and validating my confidence and analysis, because I feel like a lot of the times, I'm probably going to speak about this in a Trading Diaries episode. I'm going to try and prep some Trading Diaries episode videos because I feel like some nights I could just yap and yap and yap, but then other nights I will just be like, what do I call it? I'll just be like a recluse. Like I just will be like so quiet and just in my room and just studying or working, especially on like my freelancing days where I'm doing like my social media management work, which is something that I just do on the side while I'm at home on my days off, which is it's been really, really good because it's allowed me to invest in a laptop, a computer, an iPad, because I was like, if I was trading off of my old setup, oh, it would be hard. Like it would be very, very hard to do this and to do these videos and stuff like that. Anyway, that's a bit of a yap, but what am I saying? Anyway, I don't. Oh, what I'm trying to say is I want to make sure that I'm actually getting in on the trades that I'm confident in, instead of sitting out of them so I can actually build that confidence. So anyway, right now we can obviously see that price has taken this high. We've had, what I like about this uptrend that it's had is we've had some pullbacks. We've had some small pullbacks. So I'm not expecting to see, obviously when we're talking about external structure, we are, oh, okay, it's not letting me go further, so I'm just going to mark that. Well, obviously we were on a downtrend. And then on this push up, we didn't just shoot up. See how it shot down here? This whole time, I was like, okay, price could retrace anywhere in this range because there's been no rebalance. So price could come all the way up to here to rebalance and form a lower high. That's why I didn't take any buys up here. That's why I was waiting for price to give me a confirmation that it was bullish by breaking the high. And it didn't break it like crazy, which we're going to talk about in a second, but it obviously had recently broken a low, so it could make a lower high. But at least here, we can see that, we've got some good structure on this uptrend. Obviously, this one's like a tiny bit of a pullback here. It's not very crazy, but it's got structure on this pullback, which is really, really good, and that's exactly what we want to see when we're going to be changing trend directions. Otherwise, it can be very, very hard to form a new trade. That's just my opinion. So anyway, I've basically drawn this box because this is where price is now bullish above because it's broken a high. So we don't want to be taking trades below this level at all, because then that's going to be dipping back into this range that we have made here. What I kind of am curious in seeing is what the 4-hour looks like. If we've got a 4-hour candle, we've got plenty of 4-hour candle closes. I don't know why I didn't immediately think that, but it's fine. Anyway, we filled the gap, which is amazing, and it looks like we are pushing back up. I would love to see some internal structure pushing upwards before I take any buys. Obviously, I'm not going to be making the same mistake that I made in this trade right here. I made a mistake, and this mistake was getting in on the trade in London session and not New York session, and not waiting until New York opens. So I don't want to be making that mistake. Just because we've got a setup here doesn't mean that I have to jump in on it straight away. Obviously, we have some very slow price action here, but this price action here is mainly because we had a bank holiday. So you can see it literally did nothing. Like, it didn't even move here. Like, it was just ugly and just really, really bad price action. But it did not break any lows, which is really, really good. I don't know if I'm speaking too fast, so I apologize if I'm speaking too fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up the high here because we know that there are sellers sitting here. We can see we've had a touch point. We've had a touch point here where sellers have pushed price down and sellers have pushed price down to here. So I don't know. I would call this somewhat of a no trade zone, but I don't know. This area downwards seems like a bit of a no trade zone, but because it looks like we are starting to was starting to form a continuation upwards, I don't want to be taking any trades in London session. So maybe if I get some clean bullish structure that does not break this low here in the start of New York session, that'd be amazing. I can hear my dog. Hold on. I apologize. I don't know what my dog wanted. I think she's gonna come in. Hi, Nala. So we've got this high here. I want to ideally take buys above this high. So ideally what I'd want to see pre-New York is, obviously price has done a big push up in London. I'd love to see it kind of continue. It's like a bullish structure, and then I want to see that bullish structure, a breaker structure. Nala, no. Sorry. A breaker structure either below this level or above this level. I don't mind where it forms as long as I can see a breaker structure and it's above this level and it's above this level. And then I can look at taking breakout buys here, or if we've got a high that's just above the level, I can look at taking a breaker structure buy around here and target this overall high. That's what I would ideally like to see. If that doesn't play out, it's totally fine, but at least we can see some bullish structures forming now. This sell-off is very harsh, which I'm not sure if it's going to, I don't really know, to be honest, what's happening here, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I need to be listening to my economical podcasts because this is a very harsh sell-off and it's an Asia session. Asia sessions is usually like very slow moving, but it's fine. I think the start of New York Open is going to be able to determine whether or not it is going to continue on this uptrend. I think if it does give some clean structure and some clean price action, then I will be able to take a trade based off of that. But if it's kind of choppy, it's still breaking lows, then I won't take a trade, even if price does get above that level. But that's ideally what I'm thinking, to be honest. Yeah. I think that's it. So I'm going to have an alert here. And, hello. Okay, I'm going to have my alert here. And then I'm going to have an alert down here that this is my invalidation level. So if price breaks this low, my levels are invalidated. This is going to be somewhat of my no trade zone. And if we didn't have this like price action here, I would probably have my I would probably be able I would probably be comfortable taking buys above this level, but because I'm not seeing some displacement to the upside and seeing a big push, I feel a little bit more skeptical in taking buys, if that makes sense. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think Nasdaq Monday is kind of just structuring for a some clarity. I feel like that's sometimes what from what I've seen, maybe it's just recent price action. But from what I've seen, Mondays kind of seem to just be a day where either price is given a perfect setup on the Friday. So last week it's given a perfect setup, and then on the Monday is when that continuation continues, or Friday or over the weekend stuff has happened, and then Monday is kind of like the decider. Is price going to be normal, or is it going to go in all different directions? I feel like that's kind of what I've noticed so far. But anyway, gold, we had obviously a massive push up. I'm going to erase my charts. I'm going to let go of this amazing trade that I could have taken and I probably could have held. But you know what? It's okay. It is okay because it's just all a part of life. You win some, you lose some, but it's okay. Anyway, we have this overall high here that price actually hasn't closed above, which is interesting. So price is definitely bullish above here. I think it's interesting. I don't like it how okay, there we go. I think it's interesting how we didn't actually get any candle closes above this level. We do have a what's it, hammer? That one that's going like up, that shooting star, whatever. We do have one of those at the top, so it is showing that buyers are definitely in control at the moment, and we're still forming these lower highs here, so I'm not too stressed about that. But yeah, I think, give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to because I did a weekly analysis yesterday, which if you guys haven't watched that, I would strongly recommend that you watch that because my charts look so clean on my weekly analysis. Let me just show you my goal one. I'm doing this because I actually, that light is really annoying me, but I actually, oh, ow, I just ran over my toe. I'm actually going to change all of these alerts that are here and make sure I've only got alerts for, do you know what I mean? Like, so it's a little bit clearer, so just bear with me 1 second. That is so much better. I've got an alert on this, alert on this, alert on this, and alert on this. So price levels for my weekly analysis, because someone asked me this in the last video, price levels are 4,243, price is bearish at, once it crosses 4,000 it looks like. Yeah, about once price crosses 4,000, it is bearish in my eyes on my weekly analysis. But anyway, moving on, back to my daily analysis because the chart is going to be so much more clean. Like, look, there's no more crazy lines on my chart. Okay, did we get a 1 hour candle close above that level? We did. That's good. We kind of got like a little indication, correction, and continuation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert back above here. I know that obviously we have pushed above, but I also don't want to see price break below here. So this is going to be like my setup invalidated level. And that's simply because I don't want to see price break this low because we actually have had some structure. So we had this push up, this pull back, this big push up, and we actually had structure on the pullback, which to me looks like a better pullback. And then we actually had a break of structure in terms of wicks. So I don't want to see price break this low, in my opinion. And that's just based off of this uptrend structure that we have. Obviously, looking at the 4 hour, we can see overall we've broken a high. Whenever price breaks these big levels, I am always a little bit like, I wonder what price is going to do. Like, looking at what has actually happened, it looks like it's kind of accumulated or whatever. It's had a big push up, big sell off, has not broken the lows. So I'm not saying that the sell off means that price is bearish, but we can see again a nice push up. So is price going to want a nice pullback again, or is it going to, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm kind of skeptical about at the moment, because the invalidation level could be all the way down here, if we're being fair. Anyway, back to the 1 hour. Sorry, it's supposed to go here. So yeah, I don't want to see that level hit if I'm going to be looking at the setup that I'm looking at right now. I think because of this, because you can see this is a very sharp buy up and a small pullback, sharp buy up. Do you know what I mean? So at least here we've got some structure, just like I was saying on the Nasdaq. we had a lot of structure on the way up, and this is 1 hour structure, so I trust that a lot better. What we could potentially be seeing, because obviously we've broken this high here, so price is still going to be bullish here. I think instead of doing this as invalidation, I think I'm just going to say price gold broke 1 hour low. That's what that one's going to be. So it just broke this low here, and then price is still bullish above here. So what we could potentially see, I swear I always have these pauses, but what we could potentially see, we've also had a push up, a pullback. Hold on, did we break the lows here? No, I feel like we didn't. I feel like that still looks pretty good. Anyway, we've obviously broken the high here. We've pushed up, and then now we started. Oh, okay. Just used the wrong tool. My bad. I apologize. Okay, we broke the high here. We had a little pullback here. Now we could continue having a pullback, even though we had a break of structure in here in terms of the week. So I'm a little bit skeptical on that. But we could have equal highs and then a pullback to this level, which we could potentially see in London, which would be ideal to this setup, is seeing a nice pullback in London and then a continuation back above this level. Sorry, my tongue is like a mix between brown and green because of my matcha and my coffee, so I'm sorry. But anyway, I could be looking at taking buys potentially above this level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an alert here. And then I think even if I look at it on the 1 hour, that is pretty clean. So I feel pretty good about that. Or if price doesn't want to do that and it continues having aggressive buying, then I could potentially look at, and it respects this low here, I could look at doing, this indication above this level, correction, and then a continuation here. But I think just because we've just taken a high here, I could expect a little bit more of a rebalance back towards this level here. But it's really just dependent on what price actually shows me, because it's all well and good to guess and to be like, oh, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, retracement, rebalance to equilibrium, yada, yada, yada. But it's really just based off of what actually happens. So I'm going to put this alert, I'm going to label this as gold broke the high. So to give you an outline in terms of the actual numbers, because again, someone said that this would help them, so hopefully it will help a lot more of you. My invalidation level for this 1 hour quick setup, so this indication above this level here, correction below the level, and then continuation here. The indication level that I'm looking at it crossing and taking buys above is 4,245.90.95, so 2,446, and then the high that I'm looking at not breaking is going to be at 4,255. Please bear with me when it comes to these numbers, because sometimes I get my numbers mixed up, so please bear with me and correct me in the comments if it just looks way off, and I'll tell you a more accurate number. But again, looking at not breaking the high yet, or looking at potentially taking a continuation to 4,255.95. I'm looking at the low of 4,215 not being broken. Once this low is broken, then this setup is invalidated. If the low is broken here, I'm looking at price rebalancing to 4,192.94. Once price rebalances here and rebalances below here, I'll be looking at taking buys above this level and then targeting the overall high that I don't want it to break. I'm sorry, that's going to take me some getting used to actually be able to recite the numbers as smoothly as possible, so I really do apologize. Again, I'm really not good with numbers. Like I get my 5s and my 3s mixed up for some reason. Like, I wouldn't say I'm dyslexic at all, but I would definitely say I have some difficulty with English. English is not an easy language. Okay, bearish below. This is just obviously bearish below because that is the overall low that this high has pushed off of. So I'll be looking at obviously not seeing this broken. Once this is broken, then I believe that price is bearish. But then overall, we have the overall lows down here. So I still will think that price is bullish, but I just won't be looking for taking any buys. Okay, let's have a little peek at Ethereum. I can hear my dog doing something that she shouldn't be doing. Okay, Ethereum, we had a crazy sell-off. I don't know what's happening with crypto right now. It's looking a little bit insane, but it does not mean there's not moves that we can capitalize off of. Now, Ethereum has been very smooth. I tend to zoom out, but I can see that Ethereum is a very smooth instrument. So I don't want to be too zoomed out. I want to look at most recent price action, because price seems to respect it, and that's why I like Ethereum specifically. What I actually do want to have a quick look at before I start marking this up is Bitcoin, because I did have an alert go off for Bitcoin. So I want to see what it's doing. Okay, Bitcoin has also had a massive sell-off. Look, right below that level that I was looking at, taking sells. Anyway, this was a setup that I was looking at taking like quite a bit ago. Price has made equal highs here, so it's basically just tapped this high and never actually broke this high, which I think is interesting. But it does look very much bearish, that's cool. Like it's whatever. I'm not a holder of crypto, so actually no, I think I am. I am in my automated investment portfolio, but it's honestly okay. So we had a low being broken here, so price is bearish below here. What is wrong? Okay, give me 1 second. I feel like I've had to get up so many times. I'm sorry this video is so long, but it's Monday and we've had some interesting price movements and New York hasn't even opened. So I'm going to analyze like the hell out of this to understand what is going on. But anyway, price is bearish below this level. It's broken a low here. I would say that price is bullish above this level because this is the most recent high that we have. How can I get this even? I want to get it looking good. Okay, price is bullish above. Cool. Okay, so price is bearish below. Oh, I didn't even write below. Sorry, it needs to be good. It needs to be looking good. Okay, so price is bearish below here. Obviously it's got all of these levels to capture, but we could potentially look at taking sells all the way down here. Oh, an alert went off on gold. What's happening on gold? Oh, it's pushing up. Let's have a look, guys. We've broken a high. Are we going to break the low? Or are we going to continue pushing up? I'm going to put an alert here. This is basically what I do throughout the day. When my alerts go off, I'm just going to look on the charts like this. And I go, okay, there's my new high. The low that I don't want to be broken is down here. Let's just see what happens. So, obviously, I won't be looking at taking a broken structure entry right there because what RR is that? That's literally like 0.1 RR. That'd be insane. But anyway, back to Ethereum. Okay, yeah, so massive sell-off. Obviously, price needs to rebalance at some point. Let's have a look at where our equilibrium point is. Okay, 0.618 is all the way up here. It is very, very close. I'm actually going to zoom this out to this level here, and then I'm going to put an alert here because I don't mind taking sells below here. If price hits this level and reacts off of it, I don't mind. Now, I don't trade Fibonacci retracements, but I know enough about fibs to understand that it is an area where price retraces. I'm not the world's expert on it, but I understand that someone has been obsessed with the charts and has understood where price tends to retrace to, and yeah, that's all I have to say. But I honestly think I have to research a little bit more, but overall it's still the low, so that's okay. So yeah, what I want to see is for price to retrace and continue, and that is literally it. So I'm assuming that crypto is going to be looking pretty volatile in the next New York session or the next few days. And just, yeah, I think its moves might be a little bit more sharp, but a nice buy would be great. But if not, then obviously price is going to break this low here, which is totally fine. So I'm going to have another level here at this low. And I'm just going to put in a little alert there. And then we've got a high here, but I want to see that broken, so I'm not going to put an alert there because I don't need to be head glued to the chart every single move it makes. This would be my no trade zone right now, but I'm not going to mark it as a no trade zone because I will be taking trades within this zone if it gets below this level. But yeah, I think it's just a waiting game on Ethereum right now. I think it's a little bit undecided. What else do we have? We have somewhat of a head and shoulders formed. Is anyone seeing that, or is it just me? Let's go to the 4 hour, see if it's clearer. Yeah, to me, I would call that a head and shoulders, but I don't know. Obviously, it's not going to look perfect every time, but that is a head and shoulders in my eyes. Anyway, let's do our journaling. This morning analysis has gone on for a little bit of time, so I apologize for it dragging on for so long. Oh, what else I would like to see on gold if it does end up continuing up is I would like to see some real displacement up like this on the 4 hour, a retracement on the 4 hour, and then a continuation. That would be great. Gold might make a move, set up a move for Tuesday, but again, I'm not trading on Tuesday, so if it does do that, then at least I said it on here and you guys heard it from me first. Anyway, okay, start my day. It's obviously Monday. Pre-market analysis. So we'll start on gold. High time frame bias is obviously bullish. Key levels is the high, the recent low, and the low price push off of, and the indication level. News event to look at in a sec. I think it's PPI. Let's see if my memory is good. PMI. See, I was so close. That should count. What are we expecting today on PMI? We're expecting better than last month. That's what we're expecting. But then the last one that came out was worse than the forecast. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Market conditions. I'm going to say volatile because it just took a significant high. My bias today is going to be bias. Setups I'm waiting for corrections and continuations. Invalidation if price breaks lows. Total risk is 1%. Trade management is 1 trade a day per instrument. Oh, I have a really, really exciting idea to talk to you guys about. Just giving you guys an update on my trading journey and how I'm going with my risk and the different plans that I have. So actually, I'm going to pause this video right now. I'm going to write down some notes so that I can do a quick trading diaries episode before my family gets home. Okay. I'll be back. I must finish my coffee. That's quite sad. I can feel my energy draining already. Okay, NASDAQ. Also, if anyone has any natural ways to get energy, I saw that, you probably won't know, but, I mean, you probably will, to be honest, but I don't know if it's my audiences, if we have the same audiences, I don't know if we have the same audiences, but Shelby Sapp, she literally posted a story today, and she was like, I'm getting heart palpitations from coffee. I remember when I worked in an office, I used to get the same thing. I used to have, 5 coffees a day. It was actually ridiculous, but the coffee was free, and the job was draining. So I needed that coffee, otherwise I was going to fall asleep. But I was having heart palpitations, and I literally cut out coffee completely. Now I'm back on it. So if you guys have any actual natural energy, supplements or drinks or anything, then please put me on in the comments, please. Okay, NASDAQ, obviously we're looking for buys as well. So high time frame buys is bullish. Key levels is the indication level, the high, and the continuation level. So indication level and continuation are different because this is my indication level, this is my continuation level. Sounds a little bit silly, but that's how I'm viewing it right now. Because we still got a high, we got a mini pullback here, and this is a high here, so this is price breaking high here, but then we also broke this overall high here, so it's up for discussion which level you want to call the indication level, but I'm going to use both. PMI is the only news again. Market conditions. I reckon these ones are going to be trendy. My buys today is going to be buys. Setups I'm waiting for is a continuation. And validation is if price breaks lows. Hold on. NASDAQ looks pretty clean. Am I going to get a move on NASDAQ? Oh, okay. Yeah, we had a pretty strong buy up. Looking at the 4-hour, NASDAQ looks really clean. It looks like perfect to take setup on. Maybe not all the way perfect, but it looks pretty good to me. Anyway. Well, oh yeah, that's the one, because it's obviously buying up now. I've got to wait till New York session. Anyway, max risk is, again, 1%. We are risking more money this month. I'm going to speak to you guys about how I feel. I'm literally writing this down. I'm going to speak to you guys about how I feel about trading NASDAQ. I'm literally so excited, but I'm very much contained excitement. I'm not trying to go crazy, but I'm just really, really excited to open myself up to more opportunities to take trades. But while keeping them high quality as always, how am I feeling? I'm feeling good and excited. Rules to remind myself, patience pays. I feel like that's what I need to remind myself while I'm excited. This is awful spelling. How do I fix this? Excited. Okay, cool. Let's check this off the list. Should we lock in this week and do my notes? Oh my god, I'm gonna do that right now. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this video. I'm gonna do my notes so you guys can see me doing it together. That literally made no sense. That little sentence that I just said. I'm not gonna actually read them on camera because that is really awkward, but I'll quickly show you. So this is where I go. So I go to my notebook, and then these are my reminder notes, and these are where are my other ones? Hello. Oh, daily practices. My reminder notes are my affirmations. So if you read through these reminders really quickly, I'll leave it on the screen so you guys can. Can I? Oh, I didn't know you could have it like this. Okay, wait, hold on. This says emotionally driven mistakes, this little area here, but unfortunately I can't remove my face too much for that to come out. But if you want, you can screenshot this. Wait, hold on, actually. Because I want to help you guys out. Shall I make this smaller so you can... Okay, there we go. You guys can screenshot this. Let me know if it's too small in the comments and I will fix it up. But that is basically, I think this is probably what you guys will like. I have my woo-woo affirmations, but I think you guys are going to find this more valuable because it's really reinforcing the statistical evidence of following your rules and of doing your daily routines and of doing all of those things. So I literally want these statistics to be ingrained in my head because sometimes all it takes is a statistic and to humble yourself and know that you're a part of the statistic to actually follow your rules. So I'm sure there's one here. Learning to accept small losses and cut them quickly increases long-term profitability by over 60%. That's something that I followed the other day when I was learning to accepting a small loss and cutting them quickly. So cutting that loss while it was small. And limiting trading to high probability setups increases the likelihood of profitable weeks by 3 times the amount versus random or impulsive trading, which is really helping me stay with my high probability setups. I actually think I'm going to stop the video here because I don't know if it's necessary that I read these out and then say goodbye to you guys, but if you guys would like a more in-depth video of these affirmations and we can go on a little bit of a deep dive and see how these are actually going to benefit me, then let me know. I'm going to really, really try and do these affirmations every single day this week because it's just all part of discipline in my opinion, and it seems like such a small thing and it's so tedious and I literally have not been doing it very well, but I think it will pay off in the long run in terms of my muscle memory, in terms of my psychology. And obviously you can't really train your psychology as such, it's more of a practice, but I think in doing these things it's going to reinforce it. Anyway, I'm really, really yapping. This video is 33 minutes long, which is absolutely insane. Comment committed if you made it this far, and also good luck on your training this week, and I hope to speak to you guys very, very soon. I will be doing a trade recap most likely in the morning. Fingers crossed I have some time, but yeah, and I also have a fun and exciting Trading Diaries episode where I'm going to be talking about this new analysis thing that I've been learning about, or that I'm going to be putting a little bit more energy in learning about. It's not a new strategy, but you'll see in my new video. But anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Bye!